You are now listening to Skeptix, powered by the Only One Media Group. Skeptix is the people's choice for quality art, interviews, music, and spirituality. Sometimes we just may push the buttons on certain topics. Hosted by Dini Mussolini, Haftizi and Yohanan Railkanank. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813 or join via the browser by visiting www.onlyonemediagroup.com/Vigilantes Radio. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at iTunes or Spreaker.com/OnlyOneMediaGroup at least 1 hour after the broadcast. We welcome all to submit material, topics and ideas. Email us at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. Enjoy the show.
Hello out there, and welcome to another episode of Skeptix, where we dive in deep with the people who are Christians, Buddhists, atheists, Muslims, may study meta or quantum physics, can talk about opening your third eye, maybe indigo, starseed, or crystalline children, and all of that great stuff. We are not debunkers. No, I think not. But we are great debaters that are on a quest of understanding, understanding, and overstanding. So if you'd like to be a guest on our show or join in our live and open conversation, chime in by dialing 701-801-9813 or joining the mix by visiting www.onlyonemediagroup.com/Vigilantes Radio and slapping that go live button. All episodes are available for free download at least 1 hour after the show ends. And with that, I am your host tonight along with my co-host. Are you out there?
Haftizi. What's up, brother?
Haftizi. And you guys are tuning in into Skeptix episode number 5 with LaMoney Cole. How's it going, Dini?
Good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm still in mourning, man, for my comrade Jerron, Ben Rastu Thomas.
I know. I just saw the little Instagram video that you did. That's crazy, man. Like we were talking about it last night. It's nuts, dude.
Yeah. I just got off the phone with baby Phil, man, right before the show. And,
what did he say?
He's taking it pretty hard too. Everybody is, and B's not talking to nobody right now. He's shut off.
Who?
So busy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, man. Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. He was. It's just it's crazy, dude. The whole situation is just out of hand. Obviously, I mean you verified that is what happened, right?
Yes, that's what.
Okay.
And I just found out that he was actually in the studio recording.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
Damn.
He was back on his music thing, so.
Man, dude, that's sad, man.
Yeah, it's real sad. He was my favorite.
Yeah, man. I can't believe that, man. I don't know. I'm just in shock, dude. I'm really at a loss for words, man, because like a lot of people have been passing, obviously, from last year, and now, I mean, it's damn, dude. We're only in January. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So and it's still hitting home. So
Oh yeah, man.
It's nuts,
Tough,
man.
tough way to start the year, I tell you, man.
Yeah, for real.
But for our base out there, I do have, some little words of encouragement for you guys as I try to, stay positive. Even in such a negative world, we can always choose. And my good friend Hines from CNO, or formerly of CNO, once told me that when things happen to you, you have 5 seconds that you're allowed to, experience that emotion. And then after those 5 seconds, is your choice whether you stay in that mood or not. So that being said, even though there's a bunch of negative things that may come, just life happens, we control how we react to those things. And with that, work where you are. You don't need a particular setup to do good work. You just need to do it. You don't need conditions to be perfect to make progress. Any situation or any condition is an opportunity. So work where you are with what you have, no matter what has happened, whether your tools are old or new, whether resources are abundant or maybe scarce. What matters most is that you do it. Your best work might very well be done during the most challenging times, for those times will drive you, inspire you, and make you more determined to create value. So if you're waiting for things to be perfect, man, stop waiting. Quit kidding yourself and start working. You just got to dive in and do it. Even with all its flaws, you have this moment, so use it. And flaws can always be corrected. That's how we grow and learn. When I first started out podcasting, I sucked, and I still think I suck. But I've gotten better. The show has gotten better. The format has gotten better. Whatever else your day may hold, it holds for you the opportunity to make a difference. If it's burning on the inside of you, make that difference. Stop waiting. Stop wishing. Stop putting it on somebody else. Stop wondering and start working to get it done. So that is it, my friends. Anything, DZ?
No, man. No, you pretty much hit it on the head. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. All right. So let's bring on our guest of the hour. I know the flyer says Skin and Bones, but he told me to call him Lamonte Cope. What is up, man? You're alive.
Who's got the Grand Mac, man? Who's got the Grand Mac?
What up?
Has anybody tried McDonald's Grand Mac? That's what I want to know.
Oh, no. You know what? I got the Junior Mac. I got the Junior Mac, though. The Grand Mac looks too dangerous.
No, the Grand Mac is something like here in the 317 we got a little franchise called Mr. Dan's. And the Mr. Dan's is the most juiciest, greasiest, cheesiest burger you ever have in your life. It takes 2 hands to hold it, to consume it. And I think that somebody told McDonald's what we was doing, and they made the Grand Mac, because it's a big, Big Mac burger, but it's like the quarter pounder, but even bigger.
Never heard
too
of
much,
it.
Man.
Yep, you got to
You
ask.
said you have the Junior Mac?
Yeah, because you don't have that out there where you at?
No, I've never heard of it.
There's 3 different Big Macs. They got the Grand Mac, the Big Mac, and then they got the Junior Mac.
And now I'm mad at you because you cheating me. We don't have the Junior Mac here. I'm cheated. Now I feel robbed.
That's crazy.
It's robbery, and you get to be off the show, Happy, because you have the Junior Mac and nobody else does. So you're the weakest link.
Hey man, that's the smallest burger though. The Grand Mac is the ultimate one though.
But see, that reminds me of like Wendy's with the big stack, the double stack. They got the Junior, then they got the double stack, and that's what does it have 2 pieces of meat on the Junior Mac?
No, it's just one. It's one patty. It's basically a cheeseburger with the Big Mac sauce on it and the lettuce and stuff.
See, they're cheating people because it should have been a double stack for McDonald's where they could have been 2 small little burgers with a little piece of bread in between it, and bam, they could have did the daily double with just the middle bread.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Because if they would have just kept it like a regular 2 patties, would have been just a double cheeseburger.
Exactly. So you got to put the middle piece of bread in there so you can feel like you're getting a bigger burger when the meat's real thin. They're cheap, but you feel like you're eating big burgers.
True.
How do y'all feel about the new addition story that I'm sitting here kind of gazing at as I chop it up with y'all before we go into this interpersonal relationship disorder?
New Edition,
I'm not sure what you mean.
The R&B group?
Yeah, man, they got a story on BET. Man, they launched the true story on BET. They wanted to do better than they did with the Aaliyah story. So they dropped New Edition story, and it's actually good. And there's a bunch of no-name kids that I definitely don't know, like they did with Michael Jackson. But it's almost way better because every song that they do to make them sound like the Chipmunks, they got auto-tune on it. And if anybody's listening in that knows New Edition, don't take it personal because I grew up in that era where that's all we played was the Latinos from Electric Boogaloo singing songs and New Edition. That's what we grew up with in the late 70s and early 80s. That's all we grew up on. So, but BET, for a chance, actually did something right.
No, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's on right now. You guys got to tune in. It's pretty tight.
Yeah,
They had Bobby Brown in his all-red little jumpsuit with his little half-cut shirts.
Man, that's crazy.
But, you know, my main thing for being on the show tonight is just kind of address a snippet of what we're going to be building to called Battle of the Sexes. And all I want to tell the urban community in relationships and anybody that feels like they have an urban-style relationship, if you're not married and you're not on a fully committed situation, stop beating yourself over the head because the drawback is compatibility. Compatibility is measured in likeness and relatability. If you got at least 5 things in common, you're good. If you have something that's under 5 things in common, you're all bad. 3 things is not going to make it because it's like tic-tac-toe. They say it's 3 in a row, but if you got 4, you can corner 4 corners of the globe. But if you got 5, you're going to stay alive. So that's the whole key to the situation. You got to have a 5-point star. That's north, south, east, and west, and your soul. And a lot of times people are allowing other people to put their seasoning on their relationships. Stop letting your mother, your father, and your family members put seasoning on your relationship. If you already got a steak in the plate, you can make it great. You don't need nobody else trying to cut it sideways to get you to get in the byways of the highways of your mindset. It's a trick. You know what you want. The Creator knows what you need. Y'all meet halfway in the field. Now you can't eat.
Makes sense.
I mean, just think about it. How many times have you seen a woman cross the way, she seen you, and it was either your homeboy or her girlfriend that said, nah, you don't need to talk to him because blah, 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 blah. And it was only because she doesn't have that stuff. Or he didn't have it. It had nothing to do with what you were thinking or what you were dealing with. It had everything to do with what they was trying to send in on your reality. It had nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
It's just like if I say, Houdini Habibi, hey, y'all hungry? You're like, yeah. I'm like, well, let's go to Buca de Beppo's. And somebody that's not even invited says, why you want to go to Buca de Beppo's? Why don't you just order Domino's Pizza? It's faster, it's easier, and it's more convenient. Nobody asked them. They weren't even invited. You see what I'm saying? They just jumped in, double dutch, and said, hey, we want pizza, but nobody else asked them what they wanted. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all about being included. It's a matter of inclusion and inclusion. You know, if you're included, or should I say inclusion and exclusion. If you're involved, you're involved. If you're not, then you got to revolve, which means go around and find yourself someplace to sit down. Get in the circle. Just don't make it a cycle, because then you're going to turn psycho. Mother, you know what I'm saying? So that's just where I'm at right now. I feel like a lack of compatibilities in relationships deal with outside interference. You got to treat the game like ECW. You know that it's no disqualifications. It could or could not be a barbed wire match. But regardless who gets involved, your goal is to win the match. It doesn't matter who jumps in, who jumps out. As long as you win the bout or end up with the championship belt, you can run your mouth. Because in order to talk the talk, you have to be walking the walk. A lot of people got a lot of stuff to say, but they ain't on their squares at the end of the day. That's where I'm at. I'm ready for us as a people in the North Corporation, North American territory, to get our minds focused on why do we feel? What is it that we're lacking as compatible or incompatible units? What is it that we need to feel in tune with the energy of this world that makes us who we are? Why are we missing out on all these good things? Why do we feel like we've been cheated? Why do we feel like we can do better? Why do we feel like we're not good enough? You see what I'm saying? And I'm not being sexist, but I'm just saying if we call ourselves men, how can we ask Wonder Woman to join the Justice League if we don't know what makes us Batman or Superman? See, Batman had intelligence. Superman had strength. They put that shit together. You know, Wonder Woman in herself had a lasso that could make you tell the truth. That's woman. At the end of the day, she's intuitive. She had braces that could block bullets. You feel me? But what's the use of having someone like that on your team if you don't even know who the fuck you are? It's retarded. It's no use in asking Wonder Woman to be a part of your team if you can't even fight crime. You can't save anybody's life. You can't rescue anyone. We gotta stop delving in alter egos that don't matter. Don't worry about being Clark Kent. Don't worry about being Bruce Wayne. Playboy or nerd, you need to get into your full facet alter ego and make a difference. Then we can draw the strongest women of women in. But the brokeback women, the Lois Lanes and all of them, they all come because of that whole situation where we're not addressing daddy issues. We're not saying, yo, this is the reality. Life's fucked up, but this is what we bring to the table. Now, if you enunciate yourself and bring something to the table and the woman don't want to address those as such, then she's a brokeback mountain bitch. You can toss her over the side and not even cry. But if she comes with a lasso with some, braces blocking bullets type shit, you better snatch her up, grab her up, and tag her up, because that's what you need. But society has us believing that we're not good enough. We don't work hard enough. So what you end up with is overworked men who are not addressing the real issues. I'll say this and I'll hush for the commentary. There was a proven fact that there were indigenous men in America that were seeking out Southern American women because the corporate women of North America were too overbearing and they couldn't handle it. Now, keep in mind, look at the fascism in this, and the combination of socialism to boot. You have men that are making money, maybe $500,000 a year, so they're not broke. Just think about this. They're here in the North American territory. They're here in the United States Corporation territory, so they're making money, right? They're not wanting for anything. There's not a lack of provision, but they're not satisfied. That should ring some bells in anyone's mind. Well, why, if you have enough money to buy whatever you want to subsidize yourself, you're not satisfied? So what is it that's wrong with the woman? Over-expectation, uncomfortability, personal problems. What would make you go to another part of the coast of the continent to find satisfaction? You know what I'm saying? If you have, they say money, the love of money is the root to all evil. But what if you don't have the love of money? What if you have money to meet your means and needs, and physically and emotionally you're not satisfied? We're not talking about, meeting means in lifestyle. We're talking about your inner self, you see what I'm saying, and your mental self. So for someone to go to another continent to seek out gratification emotionally and mentally, it means that there's a deficit in our women somewhere. The only deficit is that we're not addressing the real issues. We shouldn't run from it, but we don't have to fight the battle. We just have to ask the questions. Just like when you're interrogated, if you respond to certain questions or not, you get a specific answer or you get a specific outcome. And that's all I want to say to the 9,000 to 10,000 listeners tonight that are men, first and foremost, so that the women can come in and stand up and say, we got your back. Stop asking the wrong questions and stop being quiet on the right answers. You know what I'm saying? You have to interact. It has to be an Atari type of situation.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're speaking from a lot of experience, right?
No, most definitely. That's the only way. I told someone today, and actually it was a female, I said, I'm not the kind of person at this point in my life, Mr. Dini Mussolini, that believes in opinions. And I'm going to tell you why. This is not to stifle anybody's freedom of speech. This is just to say that my opinions don't mean shit. You want to know why? Because I don't have any doctorate degrees based off my opinions. Like if I'm talking to the Skeptix hosted 9,000 to 10,000 listeners, why would I embarrass myself like that? Now, if I have something like the way you opened up, I thought it was beautiful. You gave the etiquette, you gave morality, and you gave instruction based off of experience. So people are like, yeah, man, Dini and Half Easy, they've been through it. We can trust them. But what does it look like me getting on the mic or anything on the board and talking about stuff that I feel but I can't relate to? You can't relate to it. It's just for shits and giggles. We can do that on Facebook. We can do that on Twitter. We can voice our freedom of speech, why life is fucked up. It doesn't have to be right or wrong because we're venting. But it's time. At some point, someone has to come to the mic and say, you know what, I'm not going to just tell you what I think or feel. I'm going to tell you the real based off of experience. I'm going to tell you something that I experienced and that I've studied off of statistics and facts. So when you go and research it, you'll be like, damn, you know what? When Monty was on the Dini Mussolini and Half the Skeptic show, that shit, I checked it out online and I researched it and it was true. You see what I'm saying? So now you're building a trust fund. You're building a relationship. So when certain people get on deck and begin to kind of vent that stuff, we're not misleading people. We've got to get out of, in the media, we got to get out of the situation where we're constantly misleading people. Man, woman, child, boy, or girl, we got to get out of that. We got to, especially when it comes to people who are dealing in relationships. We're in a relationship right now. You're in the ship, I'm in the ship, Hafiz in the ship. We're talking about how are we going to relate to the public. And I came on the show tonight to say that this is basically the jump off to where I start addressing urban interpersonal relationships going awry or going wrong. It's not so much about sexism, it's the battle of sexism. And I'm just tired of men not stepping into their positions as much as I'm tired of women just not sitting back and saying, what is it about Hugh that's choosing the wrong individual? What, he didn't have the right Air Force Ones on? I'm sorry, that doesn't qualify. Because we have a Foot Locker outlet store that sells every brand of shoe that's authentic. Is that going to make you love me more because I had the right pair of shoes on? Well, what if I had your perfect pair of shoes on and beat the shit out of you and you let me? Am I a good person now? You know what I'm saying? What if I had what we call back in the day some buddies on, but I worked 3 jobs and I just work buddies because personally I don't want to waste all my money on a gang of shoes because I don't even have time to enjoy them. You know what I'm saying? Daddy's little girls. What if I don't have 3 girls? What if I just have 1 boy and I'm a co-parent, but I'm not compatible with the woman I had a child by because over time it just burnt out? You see what I'm saying? What then? So this is an opportunity for people to address in themselves whether they want what they need. If you need to be held a little tighter, if you need to be loved a little more, if you feel like the person is a 1 minute woman or man, because don't make no mistakes about it. There's a lot of 1 minute women out there. I always hear this stuff about 1 minute man or minute maid soldiers. What about the women that can't handle it past 10 minutes? They want to, and get up. What if I want to run for 7 hours in a day? What if I want to do my thing for 7 hours? Are you suited and booted up? Get your Gatorade, get your orange juice, and let's cut loose. These are things that are not addressed in the media. These are things that are not addressed in day-to-day discussions because we're so programmed to think about the average commentary when it comes to relationships. See what I'm saying? Everybody assumes because homegirl looks hard, she don't like guys. Who said that? She didn't say that. You just looked at her and said she had her hat cocked, she had on some jeans, she don't like dudes. That was your misconception. You didn't have the balls enough to say, hey, baby, how you doing? Come respectful. You're like, yo, I'm saying, I'm digging you. What can we do to make this pop off? And to your surprise, she's like, well, you just got to be forthright. You got to be real discreet. And I'm down. I'm with it. I can feel that. But we assume because she's got Levi's on and she has a cap on that, oh, man, I could never have a chance with her. And she, she dressed like a stud or she dressed like a dude. So in this day and time, in the 21st century, there's a lot of facets that present different walks and subgenres, subcultures of life. And it's only going to be superseded by balls and bravery. It can't be presumed, assumed, or subsumed. See what I'm saying? You have to get out there in that water and you have to swim like Slim Jim.
All right. Are you single?
Well, absolutely. I feel like at this point in time, I'm definitely single. Yes.
All right. With that being said, one of the things I run into, because I used to try to, give advice as well as being a single person. I always hear, like, how can somebody single give relationship advice and you're not in one?
You know what? I love you for that because that's like the $1 million statement. And I wish I had at least $500,000 because I would give it. I mean, I'm not going to boast and say if I had $500,000, I would give it all to you. But if I had $500,000, I would give you $10,000 of what I had because that question is so real. If you are single, that does not mean you've been single your whole life. Maybe I'm single by reconnaissance or by retrobate or because
you want to be. Shit. You don't want to be with nobody.
For the time being, maybe I'm in the midst of negotiating my singleness. Yeah. Maybe tomorrow I won't be single. Maybe tonight I'm single. Maybe the girl might rock my world and say, you know what, I ain't single no more. You feel me? But it's all based off of your mindset. Like, people get single because they don't want to deal with bullshit no more. Like, for instance, let me give you something deeper than that. If a woman is married, I'm not fucking with her. If I know that she's married, if she's separated on papers, she's the last base of divorce. I'm fucking with you. I've had a sister produce papers for me that said legally separated. Oh, you divorced because government said you ain't with him like that right now. So my conscience is clear, not just theoretically, but internationally. Traditionally speaking. But when you're in a situation where you agree to common law, that can get sticky. See, a lot of times, like I was telling someone, I'm Caribbean, so I grew up around free people as well as people that deal with the transatlantic slave trade. And you're like, well, what did you throw that in for? Well, because indigenous people faced relationships differently. When you got people from Jamaica and from Haiti and from Puerto Rico and all those different, Nova Scotia, those different places, their perception on relationships were different. For one, they were all in a pot together. Even the Irish people. Most people don't realize that the Irish people were viewed by the European people as dogs. That's just the bottom line. Don't take my word for it. Do your research in Google. That's what the computer is for. But what I'm trying to tell you is that's where I come from. Nova Scotian and Puerto Rican and South Mexican people. So being here in the American corporation on the north side of the territory, I had to grow up that way. My grandmother came out in the 1925 era. by way of the 1900s where her parents came to a place that was good for land, and that's it. You got to think about people meeting their needs. That's relationships. What's meeting my needs? Does this person have enough money or not? But see, the bottom line is that's fine if you want to find someone who has that money to meet your needs. And at the end of the day, when their money runs out, what then? So why don't we just go halfway in? Or why don't we just, make a pact and say, you know what, I'm going to do what I do. You're going to do what you do. But guess what? I'm going to always keep you in mind. If you need a little of this, a little of that, and I can provide it. Whether it be a bottle of vodka, maybe you need a few dollars for a phone bill. Let's not go on a whole house bill, though. Because if I'm out of gas and I'm driving a Yukon, you can't put $100 in the gas tank to keep me going down the street, and I can. If we're in sub-dire straits, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we just having a bad month. It might not even be a bad week. Maybe we had a bad month with our checks. That's fine. So I'm saying, because it's not about being judgmental. It's about being submental, thinking about the big picture. Most motherfuckers don't realize this is chess and not checkers. When you start doing that side swipe shit, you got one piece here, one of the two, and the three. But you got to think about your bishop, your rook, your knight, your queen, your king. See what I'm saying? And your rook. The pawns. Something for nothing is what we call on the chessboard, where you could put a pawn out there, somebody snatch it up, you snatch something else. It's what Pop used to call a fair exchange. We've lost that value in the world. Fair exchange. Why is it that the male's phallus is so underrated? What is it about me that's not valuable? Don't get me wrong. I'll be the first to tell you that the Panocha runs the mundo, the universe. Don't get me wrong. Mother Earth will carry and incubate your seed for 9 months and produce you something beautiful. But why is it that once I plant the seed, I ain't shit no more? That's all I want to know. Why ain't I worth anything after I done plant the seed? Didn't it get you to that point, especially if I had longevity? If I'm on top of you for 3 or 4 hours, am I not important? Did I not show you stamina? Did I not show you longevity? That's the building blocks of a longevitous relationship, because we can lie all day long and say, well, hey, I can do without sex. It's not important. What's important is what's in your heart. Dismiss me with that fake-ass con artist bullshit.
Why is it fake?
Well, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to acknowledge how we got here. See, we always sweep that on the rug like we magically got here through test tubes. Some of us did, but somebody had to produce that. Huh? And that took some twerking and some jerking, whether it was with your hand or the inner man womb. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That beginning tune. See what I'm saying? That's hot like July and June. And that's what I'm saying. We overlook that that's important in our lives. We overlook that sex is important. Everybody wants to sweep it under the rug like sex is not important. Oh, it's not. I've held myself for 6 months, and I didn't. Come on, man. You can't act like your stuff didn't get hard or it didn't get hot when you seen homegirl with the booty shorts on, double D's, jogging down the street, like you didn't see that. Discipline is one thing, but your eyes is another. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, but who's putting the worth on, like, male and female?
Say it again. Who's doing what?
Who's putting the worth on the males or females? I mean,
society. Because when you're looking at shows, man, and don't get me wrong, I put a worth on the female, but all I'm saying is, why can't it be balanced? Why is it that the male is not important? We have to look at different facets of saying, this is what I tell you. I'll go this far. I'm being very prone to bisexual women. And I'll tell you one thing that I love about strong bisexual women. One thing that I've experienced personally, I can't speak for everyone. This is when I say personal experience. I've experienced with bisexual women that real bisexual women, they like what they like. But when they meet a man that really is a man, they give it up. And I'm talking about they could damn near be like Queen Latifah, set it off, ready to knock your block off. And they'll call you Poppy. The next dude, they're pimping him and simping him and all kinds of stuff. And it's real weird. They're like, well, where did you go wrong? See what I'm saying? Oh, man, well, she's a queen, and I got to lift her up and praise her and stuff. Yeah, women want to be flattered to a degree, but don't nobody want a Brokeback Mountain. I don't even want a Brokeback Mountain bitch. It's one thing if she can't cook. Hopefully she's keeping her spot clean. If she's not keeping her spot clean, then she's working. See, it has to be a chain gang effect. It has to be a domino effect where one link leads into another. You know what I'm saying? At some point, something has to give. I'm not asking for a so-called full package. I'm saying meet me in the middle of the goddamn road. We have to meet somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You pick your nose, I eat my boogers. You know what I'm saying? I wipe my ass to shit. See what I'm saying? Ham, burger, toilet, paper. Has to be one and the same. Bubble, gum. See what I'm saying? Shit, storm. You know what I mean? Something. Right. We didn't say shit shine. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, winter ass, you know, dick in the hand ass nigga. That doesn't connect. You see what I'm saying? We keep putting stuff that doesn't connect in place of stuff that does. You know, feather blubber. You know what I mean? What is that? You know. So, at the end of the day, man, we have to have our act together. That's what I'm saying. We have to literally look at the big picture and say what goes together, what doesn't. You don't say Jackson Michael. You say Michael Jackson. You don't say edition new. You say new edition. You don't say TEB, Teb. You say BET. That's a bet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep shit in order so it makes sense. It has to make sense with an S before it can make sense with a C. It has to be sensible. Everybody's going after the money, but they don't know why, really. I got bills to pay. Okay. And then what? I got bills to pay. So you're in this constant rat race. Again, I'm going back to the center, relationship. What is it relating to? That can't be the only thing that you have bills to pay. Because after you have bills to pay, you're going to want some relationship. You're going to want some communication. You're going to want somebody to feel your pain. You're going to want to feel somebody else's pain and know that your pain makes sense. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so this is why you got people.
You make a good point, dude. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, go right ahead, please.
You make a good point because it's like when me and Houdini were talking the other day. He was like, we were talking about the Philosopher's Stone, and he's like,
what?
If you figured out how to use that, would you? And I said, no. Why? Because why would you want to live forever? You know what I'm saying? If you want to talk about being a lonely person, dude, living forever would be lonely. Unless you gave the secret to everybody, but you know that wouldn't really be a secret. So it's like it's like people who live to be 100 years old. I mean, unless they had like a massive family, they're really by themselves. There ain't nobody else there with them. You know, they got the old folks home, people taking care of them, celebrating their 105th birthday with them. So,
but I got something for you. I want to interject 1 second because what you're saying is so profound that you actually confirmed my statement. This is the sad part about it, Mr. Half-Easy, is that immortality is inevitable.
No, I'm talking about immortality in the physical form as far as this one body. Like, that's what I mean.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
Not immortality in the spiritual sense. Like, after we ascend, obviously, you know, we are immortal, you know.
Right.
So.
Well, you know, the beautiful thing about what you said was that with relationships, you can have a sense of immortality if you can but find 5 things. And I'm saying that spans from... Yeah, that spans from the spiritual, mental. And see, that's the beauty about your arm, leg, arm, head. See, even if you're not counting your phallus, this is the funny part. Count where your phallus is going in. My grandmama used to always teach me, learn the woman first. Understand feelings, point of view. Know where you want to go. Then you'll be connected. She used to tell me, stay away from them long legs, them hang legs. They'll get you in trouble. And I was talking to somebody in a transit one time, and he happened to be something like a 5%er, and I said, he said, yeah, I don't want to be a 6. He said, I don't want to constantly be thinking with the head in my pants. I want to think with the head on my shoulders. And I said, why not be a 7? He said, that's too much responsibility. And I thought it was unique because he was on a specific gang terminology, and they were taught even that science. And he even said in that science, being a 7 was too much responsibility because, of course, you have arm, leg, arm, head, and then you have a crown. But I'm here to tell you today that that's the only way to go. If you're not focused on the 5 points of a woman, you need to be focused on the 7 points of a God-man, because in between that is nothing but death and destruction, because at the end of the day, we already know that we're passionate people. We already know that we need intimacy and sex to survive. Every animal on the face of the earth has to reprocreate. So even if we're staying for procreation, we need to practice that in order to perfect ourselves in that fashion so that when we do allow something to come down the portal hole of life, we are there. So most people don't even do the research to know that the sperm's produced out of the brain cell for the man. It comes out of the brain and travels down the spine and then out the body into the incubation spot. You know what I'm saying? So this is heavy stuff. So that means that everything was preconceived. Just the manifestation of being inside that womb preconceived the reproduction of life. You see what I'm saying? Hence the words abortion. I'm not pro or non. I'm saying this is why sometimes that happens, because people are thinking, oh, no, that was a bad mistake. You know, pineapples, banana cream pie. You see what I'm saying? And that's our imperfected state. So I feel like sexuality is important. I feel like intimacy with a person is important because you're perfecting a stage in which you can bring forth the best stage of life possible. I'm going further than Cat Williams when he says you need to know your stroke number. No, you need to know the number of woman or man that you're into so that when you get to that point, you can say, you know what? I've been through these stages to a point, and I think you're the one. You may not be the one for the next 10 to 15, 20 years, but you might be the one for the next 3 to 4 to 5 years, because we know that the world is so finicky, you know, and we have to deal with television. We have to deal with media, social and otherwise, that's playing with our brain. See, and I don't allow that to happen with me. When I see someone and I gravitate, someone's like, oh, well, you just met me. You don't even know me for that long. You haven't even known me that long. I'm like, but I'm gravitating off your energy, off your voodoo and your hoodoo. I'm gathering what you're putting out into the ether. And that's what we're doing with thugs. We get on the block. We start networking. Oh, yeah, man, I do this. I do that. Oh, wow. Hey, man, you want to smoke? All over a blunt, everybody or whatever, a drink or whatever, and you're right there dealing with people that you normally wouldn't even deal with, and you find out, hey, this kind of person, not so bad after all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, man.
That's how we all came together, though, like in the urban communities of the mob, and I can say this, loving the IRS, loving the NSA, that's what happened. But I'm gonna switch over for a second, and I'm just gonna cut my vibe off and put you in tune with the feminine process, and I'm gonna let y'all address someone who can probably even cover it better than me. And this is my sister Rain, man. And y'all feel free to ask her anything from a woman's perspective that you feel the need to, and I think that she can even further bring color to the painting. So I'm gonna put her on right now. Here she is. Hello?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi. So what are your views?
As far as relationships, I think
from a woman's perspective.
From a woman's perspective, relationships are way different than what they were back in the day. I think relationships really need to go back to not just looks, but go back into personalities, how a person treats you, how a person wants to be around you, what they look for in a person. If they don't know what they want in a person, then they really don't need to be in a relationship because they don't know what they want in themselves.
True. That makes sense, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like...
That's how I look at relationships.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I think Skin and Buns was saying earlier that people just kind of rush into stuff, and then they don't think about it or try to get to know the person or think like, hey, what is it, you know? And then when they do realize it, they're like, oh, shit, man, now what am I going to do, you know?
Right. A lot of guys, they're not taking the time out to really get to know a woman. They're looking at their looks and they're just like, okay, let's go for it. And they're not really checking out women's personalities. A lot of women aren't ready for relationships, but they think they are, and guys are just going for them, and it's not working out. Marriages aren't working out. They're going short term. Divorces are coming around just like marriages are coming around nowadays. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you said something interesting. I think people are in love with the idea of being in a relationship or being married, and not really the actual commitment that comes along with it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I agree with that too, because it's like what I've noticed with like younger relationships is that like a lot of young people. I'm trying to use my life without bringing too much into this conversation, but I've noticed with younger people when they get into relationships that it's exactly what you said. They fall in love with the idea, and then when they get a piece of that, then they're all like, oh shit, man, no, I don't think I. And one thing my pops always told me is like, Ian, if you can live with someone for 2 years, he's like, you'll be fine. He's like, if you can't live with them for 2 years, fucking pack your bags and get the fuck out of there, because it's not going to work. Because within that 2 years, you're really going to learn, like, what you don't like about that person, you know? Because you don't see them until they move in your house, and then, you know, you didn't know that when they go brush their teeth, they leave their pubes everywhere, they fucking leave their shit hanging out, and their clothes, you know, you didn't have to deal with all that before. And then you're like, oh, my God, I thought I really liked this chick, but... you know, there's stains in her drawers. What do I do? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Yeah, that's just what I've been noticing, that, like you said, they love the idea, but when it comes to the actual commitment and having to take the time to be with that person, they're just like, oh, shit. They back out of it real quick.
Well, I don't even think they back out. I think they just, you know, maybe lose interest and go for something else, you know.
Okay, lose interest, you know. I mean, it depends, though, because it's like when people get married and they get cold feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, something like that, you know, I guess. But I don't know. But go see. What's up, dude?
Yeah, you know, I mean, so at the end of the day, I just want to kind of, you know, switch it over and just my whole thing with this introduction to Battle of the Sexes by way of Skeptix is that in this particular instance, this is where we crush the skepticism, because everything that everybody is speaking on right now is basically factual. Facts are based off of experience. Opinions is based off of thought. We don't just need motherfuckers thinking. We need motherfuckers doing. So the only way that we can progress and produce is if we're doing just that. So I'm very invigorated by everybody's, you know, information, because that's what it is. It's to inform people. A lot of times when we you know, tune into a broadcast or a podcast, somebody's opinions, and I'm not knocking at anybody on the previous episodes if they've had opinions. I'm just saying that as far as the Don DeLeon, as far as Lamani F. and Co., like at this point, I'm really sincere about reaching out to our urban communities in the northern territories of the United States Corporation and getting people to man up and woman up on, like, if you with that person because they're packing 9, 10 inches, whatever your flavor is, that's fine. If you're with her because her booty is fat and she knows how to back it up like that, that's fine. Nobody's judging you. Just don't expect a value meal out of that.
Yeah.
Because if you're in RVs, it's going to run you $6 or $7, buddy. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like you're on the value menu where you have to pay $1 to $2. I'm just trying to keep it 100. You see what I'm saying? Now, anything else other than that is solicitation to the institution of prostitution, which I'm not knocking either. I don't, proclaim it. I don't disclaim it. I'm just acclaiming that that's what it is. That's what you're doing. I'm not pushing anyone into it, and nobody can say, hey, well, Lamani, man, on the Dini and Half Deezy show said that if you can't get a girl that suits your fancy, go solicitate the prostitution. I never said that. I'm not saying that, and I'm not admitting to that. I'm saying that people are doing what they're doing because they're doing it, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't be that fucked up is what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody's out there for whatever reason they're out there for. Now, let's just put it this way. If I'm having a drought and a female for a couple of months is not talking to me, all the girls on my phone are just not picking up my calls, should I start liking guys? I'm just saying. Is it because, oh, man, I ain't good with women no more, maybe I should try something different? That shouldn't necessarily be my motivation. My motivation should be, hey, this was a choice I made for whatever reason, and I did that. Not, oh, well, I was so impatient for 2 months that I just decided I'm so selfish about my relationship or relating to a sex that I couldn't jack off. I mean, there's Jada Fire, there's Naomi Banks, there's all kind of women out there in TV tube world that could satisfy me if I would use my imagination. That's all I'm saying. Don't be so quick to give up on your quest. You see what I'm saying? Like I used to tell my cousin, he used to always like on Facebook every image he saw of a female, cut out every image in the Source magazine. I said, if you spent half that energy pursuing women in your area that fit half the bill, you wouldn't be by your goddamn self because you're on a mission. Right now you're being lazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like the man that sits there and cuts out all the cars he likes, but he don't never go after one of them. He don't go to one car lot, used or otherwise, to pursue his vision because he's just living a dream. And nothing comes to his sleeper but a dream. Eventually that dream is going to be a vision in reality, or it's just going to be that, a dream. That's it. Feel me? So, fuck a dream girl. I want a woman with a vision.
Yeah.
I mean it for men too. What's that?
So I don't know if that exists.
Right, exactly. See, and then you throw the monkey wrench in there that's profitable and very necesito, because that's what we're dealing with when we talk about battle of the sexes. We're asking ourselves, as men specifically, do they dream or do they visualize? There's nothing wrong with starting out with a dream, but can you visualize that? So then don't judge me if I don't have a Yukon, because guess what, baby? You ain't got a Cadillac truck, honey. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
When you're rolling in a Cadillac truck and can pick me up, not because I want you to, but because you can, then you can tell my ass, you know what, I've been picking you up for the last couple of weeks. Don't you think it's time for you to get you a vehicle too or something? I'm just saying, motivate me. Show me that we're meeting halfway in the middle of the road. Don't turn around and make me seem like I'm insignificant and I'm old Cleaver, leave it to Beaver, run over like roadkill. And it's like, and any given Sunday to your ass, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, bro. I mean, I swear this is not an attack on anyone except conscious and self. Just give up the ghost and the bullshit. You see what I'm saying? We keep making excuses. We keep finding a way to duck and dodge in the mirage or the harage and shit, and we're not addressing the issue. The issue is greediness, not knowing how to be satisfied, and not knowing how to take what you got and make it better. That's all.
Yeah.
Why are you so greedy? Don't get me wrong. If you had 10 women that wanted to run a train on you, me as a man, I mean, you might want to have a test kit on you, but hey, I'm not going to hold you up. Yeah. I'm not. Because that's a man's dream coming to life as a vision. But now on the other hand, if you've got, you know what I'm saying, every reason to say no because you have something good at home waiting on you and she's got the stamina and the will to do and all that, what the fuck are you doing? You're greedy. You're just greedy. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You took a Taj Mahal and turned it into a slut hut. Come on with the jokes. Who cares? You know? That's like someone who's a devoted powder connoisseur, but no, they're not satisfied with that. They want to try smack too. Don't you think you're okay, John Belushi? Don't you think you're overdoing it? Slow up with the speedball. You already got what you do. You're satisfied. Why go anywhere else?
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just saying, if I had a 6-pack of natural ice and a shot of 99 peaches or apples, I'm not about to go and chase that shit with a motherfucking liter of vodka. I'm going to be passed out. I probably won't wake up for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. When all I needed was 5. You see what I'm saying? It took me 6, 7, 8 hours to wake up because I was greedy. Somebody might have been down there trying to rape my ass. I don't know, taking pictures of me and shit, putting myself in the wrong predicaments and positions. I'm just saying, use judgment. That's the point. Use practical judgment in your situations.
Right.
What do you have to say? No, let me hear a little something before we cut it off. I mean, do y'all think I'm the mad scientist that's just talking bullshit because I can, or can you feel me, like Pac used to say?
I feel you, man. I mean, it's kind of funny that this ended up being on relationships tonight, honestly. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I haven't really talked to Houdini all day today, but fucking, you know, with the whole aspect to it, I think it just depends on the person, and then they have to decide what they really want. Like, okay, and then even like you said, even if at first, I like how you put it into the point where you said it can go for, you can have somebody for so long, like you may not need to be with them for a lifetime, but maybe only 3 to 5 years because you're supposed to go through whatever situation, and then after that, you know, you can kind of revamp and look at the relationship like, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying?
Right, because, I mean, and based off what you said right there, let me also add, that doesn't mean it's the end. It just means don't set your goals. I can't say hate, but I despise people who try to set it so far in the future that you turn into Marty McFly. See what I'm saying? You don't went so far back into the future that you're in the Westerns now. What happened to the hoverboard? You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Said, it's not limiting yourself. And then also it leaves open the possibility of a new life after the previous one you just had. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, because for all you know, he or she may sign on for another 5 years like a record company. Oh, yeah, we did great. We made some good records. We made a good album, a mixtapes. Let's do it again, and we're going to go even higher this time. And therefore, you're not really limiting yourself because people. Let me explain this. I'm in a place that in the late 1700s and 1800s, an indigenous man was supposed to be free, but he signed on to be a slave from 15 to 35. The woman was 18 to 32. So when it comes down to like making things happen, you know, doing it big, that's like some real shit, because in this area you can be a celebrity. People know you, and it's damn near like Hollywood. Like, I've had to like rush women on the bus with me on the transit because I didn't want to deal with the crosstalk of people seeing me out trying to investigate my day, trying to investigate who I'm with at the time. It wasn't so much to protect me as it was the other person, because I didn't think it was fair that because I chose a certain path of my life, the other person has to be bombarded with somebody's nosiness. But sometimes that backfires because you're thinking, oh, you're rushing so fast, you got something to hide. No, I'm trying to spare your ass this long, drawn-out exclusion and inclusion of questions and gawking that you really are probably not going to enjoy. You see what I'm saying? Unless you're retarded and you want that kind of attention. So this is why in Hollywood you see people hiding all the time with big old straw hats, changing their appearance. And people think that that's limited to Hollywood, California, and it's not. you have certain environments where people have built a reputation for themselves, and they're not pushing Bugattis and Maseratis and all this kind of stuff, and they literally have to hide from this kind of stuff to live a normal life. I myself, it's hard sometimes just to have a normal relationship because of the reputation that I had built, domestic as well as foreign. And I haven't come across $250,000 yet, and I still have to deal with that shit. That's reality. That's real.
Hell yeah.
I mean, let me ask you guys questions. How do you feel about that? Like, have you ever had a situation where you ran into a potential significant, and it was based off of who you were, and you didn't even think the person knew you like that? People doing research on you, and I found who you were. Oh yeah, great.
I've had I went to a unit, and they one chick Googled me and then fucking sent an email out to everybody, like who I was and everything before I got there. I was like, what the fuck? I mean,
yeah.
That's crazy. Like, you know, and then later on, of course, you know, tried to infiltrate. But,
right.
Yeah, it's happened. Shit, man, I've been out at places and people pick me out the crowd. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even think I'm that big. How in the hell? You know what I mean? Like, just
right.
people I was friends with on Facebook had no idea. Just fans just picked me out. So, yeah, it's...
well, you know, with me, it went even crazier than that for me at a young age when I first broke into the game. I mean, the promoter that I had did such a good job, and manager that I had, people were asking for my autograph, you know, and this is way before the whole Bone thing. I'm like, you know, okay, you know, and I have to think somewhere to this day, those youngsters still have the posters with my autograph on it. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's important for me to be Lamani effing Toe who I am, and that's why the prominent mixtape that's on the way, you know where you got it from, is tentatively titled as Don DeLeon Doctrino, because I want people to understand and understand that I'm not focused on just making my brand off of the brothers that brought me the game. I only have to say their names. I'm focused on people realizing that what these gentlemen and these producers did, bringing us to this forefront, is not just about a gimmick, but it's really about helping people, you know. And when we are able to do this as a unit, people will realize that not only do we think about them as a whole or we value, but, yeah, you know, it's about self-help, you know, assistance in the digital and not just the physical. You know, you don't have to go to Barnes & Noble just to get a book. You feel me? You can come right here, you know, to the show and feel people that have your problems. Like B said, ghetto psychologist. And it's not that we intend to be that way. It's just that everybody is psychoanalyzing everyone and everybody and everything. And that's what we're supposed to do. Because if we don't invoke a question, the first part of question, subtext, you know, quest. If we don't invoke the question, how can we find the answer? Yeah. Answer, you know, the higher part of your royal thought process. Answer, like an apple and sir also, in addition to. You feel me? Like, and what is the answer to this quest? You see what I'm saying? What is the higher thought process? What is the hierarchy to my quest? It's the answer. You feel me? Yeah. You know? In addition to an apple, answer. S-I-R, answer. Also, sir, this is where we're at. If you can dig that, man. I mean, I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to take nobody to the belly of the beast or anything, but.
No, I see what you're saying. I can dig it, man. I can dig it.
Yes, sir.
Where you at, Dini Mussolini? Come on, drop a couple more gems on us, man. You know, this is just a little pilot. You know, it's for things to come. But I appreciate the freedom, and you really been chilled back there like a big potato, man. So, you know, it's always a blessing to hear from you, bro. I want you just to bless the people with your your etiquette and your invoice on that.
Yeah, we'll see what my brother Pagosi has to say. He's on the line. He wanted to, chime in. So I want to.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'm in the house. I just want to say a couple of things. First off, yeah, I agree with you what you're saying. About how sometimes they might like you for your fame and your money, even if you're not even that big. That's why I like.
Shit.
Hello.
Maybe.
Is he all right?
I think
Pagosi, what happened?
he might have lost feed again.
Yeah, it sounded good. He got me on one. Then he played with us. He was playing with our emotions.
I know.
On every word, and then they just got off. I was like, okay.
Number two, just make sure you don't catch nothing from these hoes because they probably already caught something out there. So it's like that's my 2 cents on the whole thing. But yeah, true love, you gotta really get to know somebody, get to know their soul, and you got into that. I think I was hearing a lot of stuff. You get deep with it. Skin and bones, you get like deep into the thing. But yeah, you got to get to know a person's soul and not, like you said, just their body or their face or whatever. Yeah, get to know the person, the spiritual essence. And yeah, that's all I got to say, man. And I love the show, man. It's great stuff. You speak the real. All you guys are speaking real game, real spill right here, man. And I'm like, I can't do nothing but learn. But that's just my opinion about stuff that I've been through. So a little summary at least.
Well, I put it like this, man. I appreciate. I always tell Dini, man. I tell him that he's got what I want to say, the conglomerate is a real beautiful thing. And I got to admit, I didn't even expect it to be this. Not so much thorough, but the facilitation and how you guys are putting out your energy verbally is very exhilarating. And the thing is I've been talking to Dini about this for a long time. I said, man, we got to hit another level to the people. I said, because I don't know what it is or who it is or how it is, because I'm not here to make war with the beast, because what's going on with the beast and what's going on with, the chosen ones, it's going to be what it's going to be on the righteous one. So it's nothing personal. I think that's the problem right here, is people make it personal. It's not personal. It's public. You know what I'm saying? Personal is something that each and every one of us do when the lights are off and nobody's home. Did you hear me? I said when the lights are off and nobody's home, meaning that it's just you, yourself, and yours. That's it. You don't have to answer to anybody except you and your higher power. When it becomes public, it's an issue that everybody in the internet world or the analog or digital world can address with themselves. Like, damn, you know what? Dini has easy, Philadelphia, and, money, man. Shit. I got to get on my shit. It's fucked up. Damn, that's me. But nobody took the sword and started sparring off with your ass trying to stab you. It's just something that we put out there because nobody else in these media outlets are addressing it. Whether they want to or not, it needs to be addressed. It's nothing that nobody's going after to shut. We're going to get online. We're going to shut them down. Nobody said that. It's like, why is no one discussing these things? You got Joanne Morgan, formerly of Vibe Magazine. You got Tariq Nasheed, a big publisher of the Elite Way Publishing. People like that are addressing these issues, and nobody else wants to talk about it. Meanwhile, everybody's looking at The View. Meanwhile, everybody's looking at Jerry Springer. I mean, I like it for entertainment purposes, but when are you going to get to the core on why the Pinkanini turned around and did what they did with the man who mows the lawn? Just get to the bottom of it. Why did you do that? I was lonely. Stop milking the cow. Get the milk to the people that need it and leave the goddamn cow alone. It deserves to graze its grass in peace. You feel me? Stop prostituting the cow for the milk. Let the cow eat the grass in peace. After it does its job, leave its nipples alone. Stop masturbating the cow. The cow doesn't like that. It feels fondled. You feel me? It's nasty. You wouldn't like nobody keep rubbing on your nipples just because you had them now, would you? Would you?
Like
constantly milking your stuff in the bucket, putting your stuff on the market, selling your shit. You wouldn't like that. Take what you need and leave the shit alone. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We have a habit of overexerting ourselves. I'm talking about all of us. We need to meet a point with woman where we can say, you know what, baby. Now, if you have a high-octane sex drive, find a woman that's like that. That's our problem, too. Don't get with somebody that can only, run a half an hour or an hour. If you know you're going to be in there for 7 hours, you need to pick your women better. And likewise for the woman, if she wants somebody to sit there and screw her brains out, why is she dealing with somebody that only can last 15 minutes? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I'm asking, why do you women do that? I'm talking to Houdini and Half DZ World right now. Why do y'all do that? You know the dude was only going to stay hard on his steroids for 15 minutes, but you blame him. Blame yourself. Mm-hmm. You went for Hulk Hogan when you should have been going for, I don't know, Lex Steele. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
She may just have her priorities fucked up, in my opinion.
Right. I'm not even...
I don't know, man. I'm not. I don't know, bro.
No, but that's good. You're supposed to be that way. That's what I want you to be. You're being honest to the world right now. That's how we're all supposed to feel. We don't know. Yeah. They're supposed to know, though, and they're supposed to chime in and eventually be like, well, the reason we do this is because, and once they start responding, people get answers. We may not take notes, but somebody is, and then they'll get an answer back. That's what we're trying to do. I'm not trying to destroy or crush Mr. Dini's subject text, but I'm saying we had to come into being skeptics to get an answer. We shouldn't just remain skeptics for the rest of our lives. That's like saying, I like apples, but I'm never going to plant a seed. That's retarded, man. Haven't you ever wondered what it would be like to cut the apple open, get the seed out, and just plant it in your backyard? You don't know if it's going to grow or not, but you sure working to see if it does. You know what I'm saying? You put a little water on it, you're going to see if it's going to grow or not. You don't know, but the adventure and the task in seeing if it does that, that's what it's about. Yeah. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Nobody's got a gun to your head saying, you better not plant that seed. You better not try and grow you an apple tree. Hell, you got the apple. You ate that motherfucker. Just see what's going to happen. You got a mango. See what happens if the seed is in your backyard. If you can grow you a mango tree, try is what I'm saying. Try. Nothing beats a failure but a try. That's it. If you fail, if they fail, somebody walked away trying. And normally in relationships, that doesn't happen. Nobody is really trying. They're like, well, I tried. No, you didn't. No, you stop lying to yourself. You did not try. You feel me? And then you got the other person that makes you try in the wrong direction. That's what it was. They were pushing you in the wrong direction, and you knew you weren't supposed to go that way. You were supposed to go the other way, as the youngsters say, that way. You're supposed to go that way, and you went this way. Don't let people stir your pot when you know what rotation you're stirring your brew in. You feel me? Stop letting people set you.
I feel you, man. Hey, I want to know your opinion on one thing. What do you think about soulmates? Like, do they exist or no? Because this is kind of like skeptic, but this should be also a little more spiritual, more mystic, right? So what do you guys think about soulmates? Real quick, if I can ask that.
That's basically what I'm getting at. The way you find your soulmate is by going off your drive. Your drive is an instinctive energy to say, you know what, I started off on this path, but I'm not going to let anybody cheat me. It's like when you're at the casino, and I don't even gamble, but I'm saying if I go to the casino, better go see, and I've got, say if I got $250,000, say I got $250,000. Say I got $250,000. I'm not about to go and spend a whole $250,000 on the goddamn casino. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be like them old folks. I'm probably going to spend maybe $5,000. I can afford to do that with a $250,000, right? But let's drop it down. What if you only have $10,000? Maybe you need to only spend $2,500 of that, so you don't end up broke. You get what I'm saying? Like we go overboard. Oh, I got $10,000. Let me see if I can get 20. If you got somebody that works and they're trying to work and they're trying to maintain a living and you're maintaining a living, be fucking satisfied. You see what I'm saying? if they started out doing that. But if you had to kind of pump them into position, you might drop the ball. You might want to get you an insurance policy because that motherfucking bubble is likely to deflate. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The moment they get discouraged, they quit. Oh, it's over with. The game's over. You thought you had a team partner, a partner on a team. You really was just getting sold a dream. That's it. You know, you can't make someone be something that you want, but you sure can get somebody that's already what it is that you're feeling. Like if you go to a doctor and he operates on cancer patients and you got cancer, you're a winner. Why would you go to a orthodontist? You see what I'm saying? That doesn't match. They don't work on cancer patients. They work on orthodontist shit. Stop going to the wrong people. If a man likes women who likes women, that's okay because she doesn't have to like women, but she likes them. So there's a guarantee that if she likes women and she likes you, you're still in the game. She doesn't always have to like women, but she likes them. You knew that when you came in the game. Don't get mad when you're looking at ass, she's looking at the same ass too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all looking at the same ass.
You knew that this was cooking from the beginning?
What's that?
Oh, no, I was just saying,
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, you got to know this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's okay because you both know that, but also don't disrespect her. Don't underestimate her as if to say, oh, because we're looking at the same ass that you don't like my ass better. Because if she's kicking it with you and she likes you, obviously there's something about you that has her attention, considering she likes girls. See, we don't think like that. Sometimes women don't even assume that. Like I'm gonna keep it real. Shout out to The View. I was watching an episode of The View when I was in a polygamous relationship, and the Caucasian woman said, you know, I've got this guy. He's a playboy, and you know he's in his stage right now where he's dating a lot of models. And she said I had to get out of my feelings, and I had to realize that I was really the apple of his eye, but he was something like a kid in the sand box right now. He's doing his thing. But that doesn't mean that he's not coming home. He's just kind of venturing right now. You see what I'm saying? And a Caucasian woman said that. Now, I'm here to say that if indigenous women in America thought that way, found their way to think that way, they would be a lot happier because they would realize that a man, no matter what shade of color he is a man at the end of the day. So make yourself the franchise player of that. Make yourself the franchise player. Can't nobody take you from him. Can't nobody take him from you.
Wait, what? Oh, go wait. Houdini.
Yeah, that's BS, man, because it can't be double standards.
Right.
It can't be we blame that because we're a man.
Right.
I'm this way. I got to look at all these butts and
right.
You know,
exactly.
It's my right because I'm a man. That's just an excuse, man. I put it.
That's what I'm saying. When people walk into a situation, they need to know why they're in it.
Yeah, exactly. So if they are in a situation, and you know, and you really committed, or you say, "Hey, I really love you," like, I mean, we're all tempted, of course. Yeah, we're tempted.
Yeah.
But to go into the sandbox to play because I'm a man, that's just
no, that's not what I'm saying. What I was saying is the woman said that she came to terms that with this guy, she was growing with him, and she took it as if, you know, she didn't have what he wanted, when in all actuality, he was just venturing into, like, I guess, a fantasy world of things that he always wanted to kind of play around with, but in all actuality, it wasn't serious.
That's being greedy. Serious. Nah, that's being greedy.
But that goes back to what I was saying, though.
That's like a kid that licks the candy and stick it back in a bowl.
But look, check this out. This is the thing we have to do. This is what we have to deal with. Check this out. We have to deal with that at some point in time we all have that in us. And it's just a matter of who is our soulmate, as Ben Lugosi was saying, that will grow with us. Like take DMX, for example. This is common knowledge, so we're not here saying that his wife had so many children with him. and this man had so many children with so many other women. Let's ask ourselves a question. What in the fuck possessed her to stay with him so long? I'm not him. I'm not her. Soulmate. She's like, you know what?
Because he was a good rapper.
No, see, and I know you're being funny, but that would be a shallow thought for TMZ. But the reality is, she knew he came from a fuck up existence. She knew that when nobody gonna fuck with him that long. She knew that him and her made two parts of a whole. And had DMX tried a little harder, and I'm saying this publicly, and I don't care if he come back to make a song about me, I'm gonna say this publicly. Had he tried a little bit harder, they'd still be together. He just didn't try hard enough. He was just like, you know what, I'm fucked up. My life's fucked up. I give up. Fuck it, I'm out here. She love me, she don't. She don't. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, thank you, sweetheart, for enduring my fucked upness. I'm going to try that much harder to be a better man for you. But that's just not how it went. And we all know that. All you got to do is Google him, and you'll see the long list on Google of what this brother went through. Hence, Ja Rule. Ja Rule has the same issue. Come on now. If you haven't ever heard any albums from Ja Rule about all the bitches, and I'm just using his word, that he had, and look at him. He got a reality TV show. I bet you his wife ain't divorced his ass. She said, not all this praying and waiting I done did. You ain't going nowhere. Minister society while drinking your juice in the hood. Thank you. See what I'm saying? So it's all a mindset. You feel me? And both of them had, without a doubt, the same amount of women. But Ja Rule was more focused on bettering himself. Oh, I got a bump by the FBI, the Alphabet Boys. Oh, well, get my act together. I'll talk to you later, Irv Gotti. It's all about the empire now. No more Murder, Inc. We got to get off that bullshit. I got children to feed and a wife that's going to kick my ass if I don't. Fuck Ashanti, fuck Baltimore, and Vita. They can kick rocks. I got a family. That's just how it has to be sometimes. And you can see it. The proof is in the pudding. If you don't believe me, just Google it. I mean, this is common knowledge. We know the real. Nobody's insulting or dissing anybody. It's just true.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, but what it ultimately comes down to, again, like what we were saying, is that it comes down to the person, to the man or the female. And
right.
To hit again on what you're saying earlier, is that I think people need to connect more with their inner self and then their higher self, and then ask the question, what am I really looking for? Because in all fairness, the way it's supposed to be, or the way that they say it's supposed to be or whatever, is that when you reach your higher self and you're with your higher self, that's when you're supposed to find out who the real you are. So that's when you can ask your real self, like, oh, what am I looking for in a person? You know what I'm saying? What would I really be happy with? You know? So maybe if people actually took the time to fucking connect with themselves,
yeah,
you know, not just for relationship wise,
but just in general, get to your inner self,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Inner peace, right?
Right. Well, I mean, and that's the beautiful part about it. You know, what we're discussing is that when we get it together in our mind, where we are, nobody can tell us differently, because where it becomes fact and not opinion is what you've been through and what you know to be true. Again, individuals may say, oh, these guys are out here dossing out their opinions. See, I get so tired of that, guys. I'm just tired of opinion, so-called fascinated opinions, which are really facts, and fascinated facts that are really opinions. What's the difference, Monty? The difference is an opinion is something that you feel that's not factually based. That's it. Don't get offended. Yeah. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. You know, don't let nobody step on your shoes, step on your Air Force Ones or your Stacey Adams. What I'm saying is a fact is something that you can prove off of your life experience. That's not an opinion. If you went through it and it happened, it's a fact. If you can trace it throughout history and prove it to be legitimate, it's a fact. People don't like facts, though. You know why? Because it makes them feel uncomfortable, because they feel like they have to measure up to it. That's not the truth. You don't have to measure up to facts. You just have to know what's fact and what's your opinion. Don't throw me an opinion when I ask you for the truth. If I say, hey, Half-Beezy, how many inches or how many feet are you? Well, you know, the last time I checked, my mother said, I didn't ask you that, bro. I didn't ask you that. I asked you how tall you were.
Unless you're
That's all I asked.
Unless you're Will Smith, because for Will Smith, 2 plus 2 doesn't have to equal 4. It equals whatever he wants it to be.
No. See, again, let's go there. I'm going to go there with you. Now, see, if you want to go off into numerology and astronomy, that's fine. I didn't ask you what's your astronomical numerical opinion or factual thought. Like people say, what's your like? I'm not trying to be funny, but let me explain to you like this. See, I'm a shaman, a third generation shaman. I'm Caribbean, so people will be like, hey, what's your astrological sign? And I'll be like, okay, the best way I can break it down to you is Jedi Knights and Sith Lords. I deal with numerology. On my side of the fence with the people that were shamans, we didn't fuck around with astrology because we know that it was Constantinianized, meaning that if it goes past 1611, it's false. That's fact. That's not a thought or an opinion. That's fact. Because if you turn around and have a scripture book with the Apocrypha in it, 1611 backwards, and then after 1611 you take it out, why'd you do that? What was it that made you take those particular books out? Who told you to do that? It wasn't like that when you found it, so you decided to do that. See what I'm saying? You get what I mean now? It's like if I speak Lebanese and you take over my territory and you say, we're not going to call it Lebanese, we're going to call it Albanese now. Why? Why did you decide to do that? Who told you to do that? We were just fine speaking the language that we spoke. You just decided to conquer us and turn us into slaves. See how we take that slave ideal and not make it racist? See how it applies to any territory? The Irish man being oppressed by the European and so forth and so on. And they're better than the European. So why were they oppressed? That's just, I'm not shooting darts at anybody. I just want the answers to the questions. That's all. I don't want anybody to get emotionally involved. Oh, well, you know, my grandma was from York, and that's wrong. No, don't get into your feelings about something that's spread abroad. You know, that's just like you getting offended because people were placed in, I don't know, the concentration camps, and now you're mad because the Jewish person showed you the serial numbers that were seared into their skin, and your family happens to be from Germany. So you can't change the fact that them people seared numbers in their arm. Yeah. You're gonna beat them up because your family's from Germany and they were oppressed in the fucking concentration camps. That's where we need to get out of our feelings. That's all I'm saying. Get out your feelings, get into facts.
Real. I guess they sound crazy. How like I'm connected to the Nazi Germany torture experiments or like their monster experiments, but I think I'll save that for another show. But yeah, that's interesting you brought that up. But I'm drunk, so I probably won't say it tonight. We'll say it another night. Stay tuned, Skeptics. But yeah,
and real. That's why I brought it up, because I know out of 9 to 10,000 listeners of the Dini and Half-Beezy show that there's going to be that, because guess what? You're talking to a Caribbean person who came up in Indiana. Come on now. The birthplace of John Mellencamp, Axl Rose, and Michael Jackson. Imagine that. But when people see me, oh, he's black. No, sir. I'm sorry. No. My grandparents were immigrants. You need to fix your shit. You know, and I'm not trying to be particular. Oh, you're just trying to make yourself seem special. Why would you think like that? What in your mind made you say that?
No, but you're right, though. Like, I just did my ancestry DNA. I have no fucking connections to the United States, dude. None.
Right.
Like, fucking, like, most people have, like, some kind of Native American, and I have none. Zero. I'm fucking 50% European and 50% fucking Asian. You know, but like,
there you go. And I'm not mad about it. I'm not saying, oh, Half-Beezy, you're trying to be special. You're trying to take what I said and flip it into something that's insignificant to the conversation. But you do that with people. If you tell them that, they get in their feelings. Huh?
Yeah.
Like
But no,
I was with a sister.
shit. But then it's like, you're talking about being from the Caribbean and shit. So that's the only reason why I fucking even said anything about it.
But you're right. I'm confirming that that's the very point I'm talking about. I was out with a woman at a grocery store and started speaking Spanish to a Mexican person, and she started trying to prove that she could speak Spanish too, but poquito. I'm like, this wasn't a contest. I liked the dude's hair because it was long and in bands, and I complimented him on his hair by saying, hey, la pelo es muy bien, es mucho muy bien, Paco, es bien. And she talked about she gets embarrassed, which was really her saying she doesn't like the fact that I get back to my roots and speak Spanish to somebody because she can't. So don't do it around me because I'm embarrassed. How do you think that made me feel? Not that I'm going to hate you.
Well, bro, hey, that's funny. That happened to me at the grocery store before. Like, people were, like, talking bad about me because, I'm, like, hella tall. I'm, like, over 6-7 feet tall. And they were talking shit about me in Spanish. Well, like, kind of joking. And I told them, like, I know what you guys are saying, so what's up? And they're like, oh, shit, I know he talks Spanish. You know what I mean? So I was like, like, for real, like, I know what you guys are saying. Like, I know Spanish. I grew up knowing Spanish, I'm part Mexican, part Spanish. I'm like, how would I not know what you're saying? But they assume on my appearance that, like, he doesn't know what we're going to say about him. I just exactly what they were saying, but it was just so funny. I'm like, I know. So, yeah, either way. I have one real quick question for you guys. What do you think about, like, lately I was reading on the internet about love and relationships, and they're saying a lot of people are single, men and women. This has been the biggest time with the biggest amount of single people, single men and women in, I don't know, history, but recent times, I guess, in the last 5-10 years. And what do you think the reason for that? Do you think the main reason is because of STDs or because people are scared of child support payment?
No, the main reason is trust. The relationships are so tainted these days that it's hard to say, I'm going to put my trust in them. And, they're like, well, they think about the past. Like, I've been burnt so many times, so you just can't trust them. So it's like, you might as well just, what they call them, buddies. Buddies with benefits.
Yeah, friends. Friends with benefits.
Friends with Hooters.
Well, well.
Well, guys, we are definitely over our time.
This is
my, how time flies.
Of course.
All right. Any last words before we depart?
The only thing I got to say is
safe night, yo.
You guys are beautiful, and I want everyone who's listening right now who has some type of companion to set the clock and see if you can last past an hour. I won't set a time limit. I just say get whatever you can get and see if you can last past an hour, and that's how strong your love is. If you pass out before you hit an hour, then something's fucking wrong with you. That's my issue. No person who's in love with anybody should be that short on semen or secretion juice. That's all I have to say.
Well, if you're filling yourself up with GMOs, you're definitely going to be short.
See, you would do that. See,
organic vegetables.
That's the truth, man. There's estrogen all in the GMO foods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to have the organic veggies.
Yeah, man. If you're not eating your berries, stuffing your mouth with strawberries and blackberries and
organic kale,
Caribbean and tropical fruits.
Yeah.
Over time, that lackluster is gonna slowly train away, and that's with every race. All right. Thank you guys, as always, for checking out the podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download at least 1 hour after the show ends, and you can grab it from our server over at Spreaker.com/OnlyOneMediaGroup, iTunes, or over at our website, which again is Only One Media Group, and that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired. So on behalf of myself, Dini Mussolini, my co-host tonight, have DZ, and a special thanks to our guest, Lamonte Cole, for joining us tonight. We stepped our game up just for you guys to make sure that our guests have the best experience here on our show. You know, we do it all. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely freaking great at just doing that.